Hydrated podcast. By the way, for the listeners, when I say rich and hydrated, I need everyone who's listening and or watching to hydrate because I believe that when we all hydrate simultaneously across borders, across parallel universes, that we create some kind of weird portal of hydration magic. And if not, then we're just hydrated. Like it's either win.
Yeah, no one
Rich and
loses.
Hydrated podcast, Demons and Diamonds editions, Diamonds and Demons edition. Kelly,
Yes,
Diamond,
yes.
how are you?
I'm fine. Just
What are you up to?
hydrated, moisturized, staying in my lane,
Staying in your lane is such a fucking self care thing.
It really is. It really is. It's just like, wow, that's not my problem. That's it. Boundaries. Got them.
Got him. Boundaries.
Check.
Got him. Hydration. Solved it. Oh my God.
My checklist. My
In
little
my
checklist.
lane. Stayed. Oh my God. I need to make a post. In my.
Note
Um,
to self.
I need to make a post about this.
Everyone just calm down.
Boundaries. Got him. Okay. I'll type it. I just made a little like note so I know. So hey, what I felt we can start off with,
Yes.
just brain fart. So one of my mentors, ow, I sit in something sharp.
Yeah.
1 second. Oh, it's from the Sharpies, the sharp plants next to the hay bale. I'm like, oh, sorry. Hashtag no delusion. This is real life. Farm life. Sitting in something sharp. So one of the mentors, she shared a prompt for us to share on our social media. And the the topics is kind of like I'm kind of in a little bit of a wrong group because it's more about like people who still feel hesitant sharing certain stuff because of
Mhm.
cancellation. But I'm like it's still good for practice.
Sure.
Um and one of the prompts prompted my mind into COVID-19.
Damn.
And just a little preface. So in Europe, COVID-19 looked significantly different than in the US. And then I know that within the US, within the states, it looked differently. But just to illustrate, in Czech Republic, we had to have a form to walk outside that was signed by the government. Then we had curfew almost in every country. I think in the Netherlands we had curfew too, and it resulted in me. I'm like, look, I'm going for a fucking walk. And the cops were like, "Well, we'll write you a ticket." But boo, you fucking do that. You know clearly where I live because I just walked out of the door, and we ended up doing that like almost every day to a
Yeah.
point where it became like a humiliation ritual where it's like, "Hey, y'all are here again. I'm still going on a fucking walk. You can put the ticket there. By the way, do you want something from the vending machine?" And like one time, the good cop was like, "Oh, I'll have a Coke," and like the bad cop looked at him like gave him the bad look and he's like, oh, no, no, I don't want anything. Anyway, so one funny, and I'll keep it as short as possible. Funny story in most countries had something along the lines of you can only like walk your dog 1, 2, 3 times a day. In Czech Republic specifically, it started off with you can walk your pet like I don't know 3 times a day, resulting in me walking my fucking lizards, people walking their cats. Then it turned into you can only walk your dog. So then we all bought like little robot dogs from the like toy store. And then they kept like refining those rules. Like you can only walk like, actual living, like dog. So we ended up like renting the dogs from the dog shelter. And
Nice.
like the dog shelter dogs were living their fucking life. I'm telling you. They were like
The best
they were
life,
basically outside 24 fucking 7.
right?
Um and one thing that really stood out that in my memory was different from the US. For us, churches were the only thing that were open.
Mm.
Sports stadiums were closed, restaurants were closed, everything was closed. And after after about like 9 months of hearing Europe go 2 more weeks, 2 more weeks to whatever the
Mm.
phrase was, and finding out that politicians were living their YOLO life, right?
Right.
Um, and constantly hearing the phrase, just listen to the experts. And this is where my crux came in, or where my challenge came in, is because I speak 9 languages. I'm a dual citizen. I was a dual citizen. Now I live elsewhere from the dual citizenship. And every language, every country that I speak the language of said something else. So I kept asking, okay, but which expert?
Mm.
And no one was able to answer that for me. It
Mm.
was one of those like throwaway phrases. Okay, just listen to experts. I'm like, I'm absolutely fucking game. I'm like legit. Which one? And no one really had a cohesive answer. But it resulted in me moving to the only nation that was open, which was Mexico back then. And from Mexico, I accidentally ended up in America.
Mm.
One day, the real details from that story will come out. The inner circle, like yourself, obviously knows this, but that was absolutely not planned. But moving to Mexico with 2 suitcases, with a spiritual backpack of insults and allegations that I killed everyone's grandma.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with a shovel of buried friendships and relationships.
Right.
Um, and the reason why, like, again, why this prompted me is like, what the question was something along the line, like, what did you do that was really hard that still universally will not be understood or accepted? And in my case, I translated in what resulted in a huge reward, right? Because I have dream life now, amazing husband, which was all unplanned, which could have not been orchestrated otherwise. But it was a hefty price, right? A
Right.
lot of insecurity, just insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think where I wanted to, or if you were up for touching on it too, is how we got to a place that you have like, it's almost like you have 3 portions of people right now. So we're like, what, 4 years post COVID, right? Ish, 3 years
Guess. Yeah.
ish.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
like,
it
it's
started
hard
in
for me.
2020. It started in 2020. I don't know if it ever really ended, but
Right. So we have like the population everywhere is kind of divided in 3 groups, which is the bitter people, which is
Mm.
myself.
Sure.
Then you have the people who participated for a while and then realized, okay, this is like a charade. I'm out. That may have gotten, you know, a vaccine or something, and a lot of them regret it. Not necessarily even because of the extremes, like, you know, people dying, which is a real thing, but just because like they were promised that, you know, it would gonna bring them something and it didn't.
Right.
And then you have the third group, which is still like, it was so real. It was, you know, we did booster after booster and it's still alive. And now we had Pfizer release an article themselves that it was a test, like that the pandemic itself was a test. And my frustration isn't like, I'll probably forever will be bitter. And this will probably be an apology that I'll never, ever get. Like, it's one
Mm.
of those apologies I'll never get, right? Like, I'll
Right.
fucking put that in my baggage too.
Yeah.
And how the fuck did we just fucking like smooth over that? That all the people who had such loud mouths about it, it was such a pivotal point in our history, and it's fucking crickets.
I would say part of it is that the people who are, I mean, let's look at the people who are in the first 2 groups, right? So there's the ones who are just really spicy about
Bitter
it. Yeah.
and the regret people.
Yeah, sure. So the bitter people are kind of like, where's my fucking apology? Because my shit was
100%.
right. Like, I wasn't just right. You fucking punished my shit for it. Like you came for me on it. Like, you didn't just say I don't like you or I don't agree with you. You weren't just angry and like keep scrolling. No. You fucking stopped everything, dropped your shit, and came for my shit. That's what you did.
You wanted to take away my rights. You wanted to take away my ability to move.
Right.
You wanted to ostracize me from the facilities that I pay for, right?
Right. And then
Hospital,
of course,
fire.
right, and hold me culpable for everybody that died that year. Like, I
Like,
mean, Jesus.
I did that.
Right,
Me
personally,
walking my
personally,
dog in
correct,
nature killed
did that,
your.
correct, right. For you not wearing your mask by yourself in your car, you have killed grandmother, and now look at you, a pox upon your home, right? Like, it's like, that's what it was. I mean, they wished you died. They were literally, well, I hope you died. In the same way they, the same way, like, people will wish that you get raped because, like, you don't share their, views on feminism or something. They'll just be like, what the fuck? Like, you want me to die because, like, I disagree with you? Or, so it's like they did that, right? So, like, you're definitely salty about it. Then I think it's the fact that they lack the number, and they lack the cohesion to demand it. Like, they're all upset about it, and we're all upset about it, but, like, we just don't have the, like, I don't know, if we don't have the microphone. The middle group, right, who is now saying, yes, you were right, and yeah, okay, I shouldn't have done this, and I shouldn't have gone along with it as long as I did. I bailed at varying points, right? I bailed on this shit. I stopped getting boosters. I stopped putting masks on my poor kids. I stopped doing that. But they were like, but I think they were sympathetic to both sides. They were like, I changed my mind, but also I was you at one point, all fucking hysterical about it. So I get it. And so I'm just going to kind of just suck it up and try to be quiet and not make any waves or draw any attention. Right. And then there's the third group you were talking about, who's just really hoping this all just goes away because they know they're wrong, but they can't admit it. So if you ever bring it up, I mean, I do it just to see.
There must be, then there's a four group, because there's one group that's still like COVID is very active and still killing lives.
Yeah,
So
and
but that's a minority.
Yeah, I don't know that I don't think that's such a big group anymore. But I do think that, I mean, I still see people in masks and shit when I go out grocery shopping. And I'm just like, okay, whatever, But like but that group that's like, I'm not giving up on this, even though I know this is kind of past. I mean, it's like anybody who can't give up on their favorite hoax, right? They're just like it's like when it gets disproven, they're still like, no, I'm going to carry this torch because I'm too prideful to let it go. And it's just like, okay. And those people are just kind of like, I won't bring it up, and then I'll just kind of get away with it, And I mean, I've had random people just like who called me all sorts of names and everything, just start reaching out and talking to me again. And
like nothing ever happened?
Yeah. And I'm like, who the fuck are you? Oh, I remember you. I remember exactly who the fuck you are. So it's like, it's almost as if like, I don't, and of all the people, those are the ones I want the apology from, right? The true believer is still off in their sad little place. Like they're on their own. Nobody's coming for them. Like they're just kind of there. The ones who change their minds will quietly in your DM say, I'm sorry, and then there's that other group where it's just like they're just digging their heels in, and
they're gaslighting you, almost like, oh yeah, that was kind of a rough time, wasn't it? And like some joke about it, or like, it's like gaslighting you in like that there wasn't any weight to it, right? That it was just a chaotic event. It was everyone's natural response, and it wasn't that much of a big deal. No, because you were fucking doing the ostracizing.
Well, that's right. It's like this. It's like the high school bully meets up at the reunion, and they're just kind of like, yeah, it happened, but like the person who taunted and you bullied and you flushed their head in the toilet and you stole their money and you did all those things to them and you bullied them after school and they were afraid of you every day for 12 years, that person hasn't forgotten, and so they're like, oh yeah, that was just high school, kids will be kids. And it's just like, I don't think you know who you were in all of this. You lack an immense amount of self-awareness on like who the villain was here. That's not just me thinking you were a villain. You were a whole villain. Like you were an actual dick. Like, and I think, that's what it is that it's like,
and you had the law behind you and you loved that.
And you leveraged it, right? And then you shamed people and you were blasting them for not carrying on with it. And it's like at some point, and I think it was like, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like Walmart and Trader Joe's around the same time said enough, and they were like, we're not doing this anymore. As of this date, we're stopping the whole mask and the line outside and only 5 people at a time bullshit. They stopped all of that. And for a minute, everybody kind of freaked out on them and everything. And they just held the line and everybody went back to normal. And it was like, I think it was a trance. Like I feel like a lot of people were just in that weird trance. Like, oh my God. And they didn't know when to, and like, it would have been different. And what's sad is like, they didn't like, the government told them 2 weeks, right? The government told them 2 weeks. Everybody was told 2 weeks at one point. And then they kind of bumped it up. And then at some point, people became dependent and waited for the okay. And they were afraid that they knew something that, the rest of us didn't know. And that if they didn't follow it, they were going to die and all this. And I was just like, there was just so much stuff that was just obviously wrong and off that I was telling people this, and I was like, this is really obviously off. Like, I don't know if you guys know this. Like, I had a guy come at me recently. They still talk about it. And I'm just like, I don't know why. I don't know why you want to talk about it, but okay, and he was talking about the vaccine, right? And I'm like, yeah, here's the thing. I'm not big on it, but I'm not anti-vax. You do you. You want to go get it, go get it. You don't want to go get it.
Well, look, this is my thing. I'll be the last person to tell someone what to put in their body. God knows I've done enough blow to make fucking Colombia jealous.
Right.
Like, exactly. Like, we good. Like, I'll be the last one to tell you what to. You want to poison yourself, baby boo-boo, you do. You want to be a health nut, baby boo-boo, you do you. I couldn't care less. Unless you're actively fucking me, which is only one person. Unless you're paying my mortgage investments, I don't give a fuck.
Right. Not my problem. So I was like, so this guy's like, you're anti-vax. I said, no, I'm not. I'm like, I don't want to ban them. I don't care if they exist. I don't care if you get one. Like, I'm literally not even bothered by it.
Boo, get a subscription. Good for you.
Sir, they're giving them away for free at like Fry's. Do it, like knock yourself out.
Get some French fries after that.
Free donut. Like, go do the thing. Get the thing. And I said, I have no problem with you getting a vaccine. Why would that affect me in any way? And, and he's like, well, how do you evaluate it? What kind of science do you use and what do you rely on? And I said, oh, I don't. I don't. And I've kind of gotten into this thing where I'm just like, you know what? I don't bicker about the science anymore. I said, you have to understand that I look at my life like a poker game. Every single decision and every single play that I make is playing odds. It's not playing like science. It's playing odds, right? So because I have to look at the odds for me, not the odds for everyone, right? The odds of you getting struck by lightning, like for example, the odds of you being abducted, raped, and murdered are 1 in a bajillion. Okay, fine. But for my aunt, it was 100%. So that happened to my aunt. And so her odds are 100% now, right? You can't deny that. Her odds, right? Her unique odds were 100%. My odds might still be 1 in a bajillion. I don't know. But like, so I need to look at what my odds are, right? What are the odds of me getting polio? Well, I don't eat shit and I have indoor plumbing. So I'm pretty sure that I'm not at risk of getting polio. Also, I'm not worried if I did get polio that I would die from it because we're not in 1950. We're in 2026 where the medicine is completely different. Like, so I'm just like, I'm not worried about it. I said, I'm not worried. I said, I'm looking at the odds of me getting it and the odds of me dying from it. And when I couple those two things based on my lifestyle and my choices, they're so slim that there's no reason for me to introduce another risk or another intervention over it. So I don't do it. That's how I figure it out. I said, that's my math. I said, which has nothing to do with the science of a vaccine.
Right. So, and along this line, right. I'm probably sorry because I've used this example ad nauseum, but when like after a few months, right? After like the cycle kept going from 2 weeks, and I'm just like, okay, I'm out. I'm not playing the game anymore. Like right. I'm opting out.
Yeah.
Again, Russia stopped playing. Like Russia stopped. This is the thing. There's certain countries where I'm like, if you stop playing, we good. because
Yeah, you're kind of
there
looking for
is
them.
not like there's not like a financial incentive behind it like the US has, or like several like Western countries, like
Yeah.
Russia stopped playing, several southern African countries where like we're not only stopping playing, you're not even allowed to bring your mask in pat. Like once you exit the airport, you're not bringing your
They
mask.
tested a mango in one of the African countries and it came up positive for COVID. They're like, this is bullshit. We're stopping. And I was like,
I have so many stories of like friends going, ended up not being tested but getting results like, oh hey, you got the vid, and but they're like, I never been tested because my work called or some shit. But anyway,
mm-hmm,
so my thing was after a few, like, so first the panic is high, right? Because we have
mm-hmm,
a pandemic going on, and that's fair. Like
mm-hmm,
I'm not blaming anyone for that initial like anxiety, stress, tension,
mm-hmm.
and then we're hearing all these stories like people are dying by the fucking mass graves, right? And what my approach is, it's like, and I feel like I know you will understand, but I feel like I'm so unique in it compared to the mass or the rest of the world. Like, you can't gaslight me into fear. My
Mm-hmm.
body intrinsically knows when something is dangerous. When, like,
Yeah.
no one ever had to tell me that dog that's showing its teeth is now angry. Like, there's something raw within me, ancestral, that knows, like, oh, doggy is not happy. When I
Right.
see a decaying body of any type, right? My body knows, my mind, my psyche knows no good, right?
Right. Right.
When I see a sick person, whether it's smell, see it visually, feel it energetically, there's something in me that's telling me,
Right.
right? So the fact that they're telling me like, oh, you're gonna die just by existing in 2020, 2021, like
Yeah.
basically you're just gonna breathe air, you're just gonna die. And I'm
Yep.
like, well, I don't see that, and my body doesn't feel that.
Right. I never felt that. I never felt like I wasn't scared of it. I was like Chris and I kind of looked at each other like to be fair, coronavirus is one of the two major forms of a cold. The other's rhinovirus. And that's like every year we get it. And they called it novel and they called it COVID instead of coronavirus. And all of a sudden everybody forgot what it was. And I was just like, no, it's just a cold. I'm pretty sure this is a cold. No, it's not. And it's like, no, I'm pretty sure it is. And it's like, and they never took it down from WebMD. But if you go there, it just tells you the two main causes of the common cold are rhinovirus and coronavirus. And you're just like, it's a fucking cold. And I was like, I think we'll be okay. I think if we just drink a lot of fluids, like cold season, we just do that. I think we'll be okay. And literally, that's all we did. That's all we did. I didn't buy more bleach. I didn't do anything different. And of course, everybody's like, so I guess you hate your mom and your grandma. And I was like, okay, but to be fair,
Yes, I
Grammy
do.
Grammy was 86 years old and she was already knocking at death's door. So I'm like,
Right.
something was going to hip check her across the line at some point.
Mm.
If this was it, struck by lightning, fucking cold, I don't know, anything could have set her ass off.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
was like
sure.
fragile. I'm like, what am I doing? Buying her an extra 2 weeks? Like, what are you talking about? She's lived a full life. She lived through World War II. She fell down a flight of concrete stairs. She's, I'm like, she's had, she watched one child die and another one get abducted. I'm like, what are we doing? She's gonna die from a cold? That's what's going to take her out. I mean, talk about the disrespect. Like, she's going to go out in a blaze of glory, that woman. She's not, I'm like, she's fine. And they're like, what about your mom? And I was like, what about my mom? I'm like, my mom's 72. Like,
What about my mom?
Who cares? Like, I was just like, who cares? It's like, she's fine. Like, and it's like, I'm thinking about the fact that like, we all kind of lived through a lot of shit and we've been through waves of this stuff before. And I'm just like, why are you? I said, look, if you've got a weak gene pool, right, and like you're basically playing in the shallow end of a like evolutionary dead end, if that's where you're at, I'm sorry, and
Too
I
bad, so
understand the
sad.
fear. Right.
Can't relate.
Correct. I mean, look, if you realize that you're the slowest wildebeest in the pack and a lion's coming for your shit, I get it. You're afraid. You should be.
Righteously.
You're fucking slow. Like, that's it. Like, you're weak. I get it. Like, you should be very scared, right? I don't know why everybody has to be scared with you, though. Like, I don't understand why we all have to play along with you. Like, this is so not my game. You know, it's like anything else. Like, I don't have to play along that a dude thinks he's a woman and therefore I have to play along with his delusions. I don't. Like,
Just like
I
in
don't have to play.
the same breath, when a schizo person is hallucinating about the fucking, I don't know, whatever he's seeing is coming for him, you don't help him by going, oh yeah, they are coming indeed. No, you go like,
Correct.
I got you. It's
Got it.
okay.
Yeah. I don't tell an anorexic they're fat. Like, I don't, like, even though they think it. Like, I'm just not playing this game with you. Like, and I'm not obliged to.
How
and
dare
it's
you
not,
recruit me for it and then ostracize me that I'm not fucking being employed by your fucking
right?
fear?
Like, it's that weird thing where it's like we're all kind of getting rounded up and like, and it's like, you know, we all have to go with them. And I'm just like, why? Why do we have to all go? Like, why don't you go? Like, you can go. Like, I don't want to
But
go.
yeah, but this is the thing. At least do it with your fucking chest. If you believe in this thing, then
Right.
fucking walk the thing with your fucking chest. Like,
Yeah,
you
then do
don't need.
it.
This
Yeah.
is the thing. The things I believe, how normal or how abnormal, I don't need anyone else affirmation, confirmation, approval, or indication whether they understand me or not. Like,
Right.
none of that is required.
I mean, and that's the thing is it's like, you come to find out that it's just like nothing actually happens. Like, if you disagree, like it's like I disagree with people online all the time. And they're like, oh, so so I guess you're a slave, you're for slavery and you're for this and you're a racist. And I was like, dude, nothing happens because you said that, right? Like, like nothing actually happened. Like, and I said, are those your magic words? Is that what you think, that like you've cast this spell on me and now I've
because
become
it
this
means
monster?
something for them.
Right. I said, if it makes you
In
feel
that
better,
group, it
Yeah.
means something. Being ostracized in the
Yeah.
group of the big words means something. Like, I'm a white supremacist because I do 75 hard. No,
no,
I'm-
literally, yeah.
I'm a white supremacist because I do 75 hard. And I'm also a race traitor because I've been married to a black man. Like, people need to fucking figure out the life right now. Like,
Well, that's okay. I was called inbred, and I'm like triracial. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm the least inbred
literally
person.
from different nations.
Yeah,
Like,
from different
there's
fucking
no-
countries. Like, how did that happen? Like, do you even know what the word means? And it's just like, I've gotten called so many things, and I'm just like, you understand that, like, I know that you're a chicken shit. I know that you're a keyboard warrior, and I know you're not going to do anything. I know that. I've seen you. I've seen you for 10 years. I've been watching, and you have made zero moves.
You're fat.
Yeah.
You're poor.
Right.
Ugly. You probably have chlamydia or some kind of pest between your genitals.
And you don't
You're
even know it.
unhealthy.
Right.
And your fucking rage bait bandwagon jumping is gonna cost you 20 years of your life.
Right, for no reason. I'm like,
Zero.
I was like, I mean, has bitching gotten you anywhere? Like, have you actually, like, what have you? I mean, I keep asking people that. Like, it's really been an interesting experiment for me to just go around and just ask people, like, so, somebody was just like, I hate the people who do this and that, and I was just like, okay. And everybody could just go fuck themselves. And I was like, okay. And I was like, and what have we accomplished here today? And now what? And now we get what? What do we get for this? Like, I'm just wondering. And it's just like, I get your venting, but like, that's all you do.
I love when your face turned, by the way, for the listeners, because most people will be listening to this. Her face turned like she's talking to a 5-year-old child that is just yelling and having big words. And you go like, yes, okay. Like, you know, when a parent empathetically, a little bit, like, also like I like making fun of it because it's kind of funny, but you're being the yes, okay, big words, yes. Like, that's the face you made.
I can't hide any of that. Like, I can't control any of that. But you know, I'm just like, nothing actually happens, and there's zero consequences to this. You're getting outraged about shit that, like, I don't know. I mean, I get it. I mean, look, there's a lot of stuff I don't like that happens in the world. Okay, like all sorts of shit. Like, some of it's with the government, some of it's just people's behavior, you know, and their absolute stupidity and cruelty and whatever. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of shit that happens, and it's just like, and some of that shit just ain't for me to fix. Like, You know, it's like, yeah, okay, I don't like it, but I'm not like consumed by it. Like, like that's not
Yeah.
healthy. Like, I'm not blinded by it. And it's like, you know, and I kind of feel like there's times where like that's kind of what happens is like people like become blinded by it. And it's like they've got this one fixated thing and they, you know, and it's like and they just pursue that and to the absence of everything else.
What was the evolution? How did we get to? So I know, like everyone likes to say COVID. No. It started prior. Me Too was
Yeah,
already one of it,
yeah,
where
yeah,
people were like consumed by it.
yeah.
And Me Too is a funny one because I definitely was in. Like I started off being angry at men since age 5, like
Right, sure.
pre-internet. So when the internet joined me, I was like, "This is fun." Hi, hubby. I was like, "This is fun. Like we can all be outraged together." And then we got to a point where the Me Too movement was like, well, someone cat called me, and not even like something, but something like, hey,
Oh, right.
you with your nice smile. And that was in the same spectrum and weight as being like brutally raped. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
wait a minute. Like, Me Too ain't Me Too here up in this bitch. Like, no.
Yeah, we've expanded it. But before that, we were, you know, we were kind of we tinkered with the bandwidth of what it is to be racist, right?
That's America. See, so that's way before me. So I need you to talk about that.
Yeah, there was a lot of we've tinkered with a lot of shit, and I think some of it is just like, you know, people finger banging their wounds, right? Like they don't want it to ever close up.
Finger banging their wounds.
So work that into the post. So, but it's true. Like they don't want it to heal, right? Like I don't want racism to go away. I don't want, you know, the patriarchy to go away. I don't want the problem to go away because I'm literally monetizing this. You know,
Yeah.
I need this problem to stay. So we went from, you know, like gay rights was a thing up until the point that like everybody was like cool with people being gay. And then it was like, oh shit, we're out of a job. We're gonna have to bring in the trans, you know, and start upping the ante. We'll just change it and we'll reconfigure it to include more letters, you know, and we'll do that. Yes, that's what we'll do. Then it was, you know, with racism, it was like, oh, okay, well, people aren't really racist anymore. They just kind of joke about shit and get on with their lives.
And
But
and people might be biased.
perhaps, and it
People
might
might,
just, yeah,
right.
I mean, there could be some of that, but I don't, I mean, but I would put that in the same category as like a person coming from another country and treating you differently because they've never dealt with somebody from that country, you know, like, so it's an innocent, like, I do believe there's a lot of like people who like come from the Midwest and go to like a big city. So they leave the ranch for the first time and they go into a big city. They have no idea like what that's a different culture shock in the United States. I'm not talking about even from another country anymore. I'm just talking about regionally. People will take offense of you. Like I had a boss who was from New York. He was the nicest guy in the world, but he moved to San Francisco and everybody found him offensive and he wasn't offensive. I was just like, he's not offensive. I don't understand why everybody's pissed. And it's like, have you heard him talk? Have you heard him this? And everybody just gets really worked up about him. He wasn't an offensive person. He wasn't a bad person. He's actually a very nice person and far more sensitive than I actually wanted him to be, but whatever, you know, but like, I think that's, you know, and so we kept tinkering with what it was to be a racist, what it is to be a, you know, a bigot, or what it is to be, you know, feminist. Feminism was another one. Went from we just want to be able to vote and get a credit card to now
being hijacked, by the way, by corporations, then an influx of communists by people do not understand the background of how feminism got the big. Our grandmas, y'all grandmas, not our, y'all grandmas in America started feminism because they wanted a bank account, were able to write, to have like to vote and to ride a car, right?
Yeah.
Then it got hijacked. Double income, double taxation, YOLO, right. For the feds. Then it got hijacked again from communist external parties.
Oh yeah.
To destroying any dynamic. Sorry. Yeah, go.
But that's correct. But that's the thing. It just kept evolving. So like think about all those other things that have been.
It's like NATO, by the way. Once NATO in 1990 hit its goal, it should have ceased existing.
Correct. It should have stopped a long time ago. It's overstated. It's
why do we
about
have
35 NATO? Years. Yeah. 35 years later, nothing more permanent than a temporary solution from a government. But there it is.
Oh my God, what a great phrase. Yeah, keep going.
That wasn't mine. If somebody else said it, but I don't remember who. I think it was Murray Rothbard. But Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, if you think about all the things that were priming us, right, and almost pussifying the country, if you think about it, like, being honest, and I would extend it to the West. I would say that the Western culture generally kind of weakened up a lot. Like I mean, it's a low T fucking society now. I don't mind saying it. Like I'm just like nobody can get it up anymore. It's just like, and we're just sitting here like completely flaccid and letting the world fuck us over. So it's just like, I don't know. But that happened.
Completely flaccid, being like hit with that like flash dick in your face.
For real. And that's the reality show that is that is the West. Like it's so bad. But it's true. And I'm just but like so now okay, we've been like so, you know, pussified. You enter in a cold. That's it. That's all it took.
We have to, by the way, when like this, it became a cult, and we have to like specify what it means. And I have a very clear specification. A cult is a group of people who think a certain way that looks ridiculous to the other people who are not part of the group. And if you choose to exit said group, it has repercussions.
Correct. That's the main piece.
That's a cult.
That's the main piece. And the fact that I think that's, you know, and that's how you know, it's what's the social consequence of me walking away from it. And if, you know, and if you get right, you know, if you're getting all indignant about the fact that we've parted ways on certain ideas or that we don't agree on everything, and it turns into some visceral response, you know, we're now enemies, we're now sworn enemies. You're in a different headspace than I am, you know, like it ain't that fucking serious. It isn't like and that's, you know, I think that's where kind of like I've just kind of landed there. I don't know how I got there, but I definitely landed there where I was just like, yeah, it's really just not that serious that you approve of me.
So do you leave the door open for those who want to return back in the, oh, it wasn't indeed that serious, you were right space? Because I don't. But I am not as enlightened as you are.
I don't know if I'm enlightened. I would say that I'm skeptical of a lot of them. You can tell by how they move. It's the ones that don't come back and just they show you, right? They don't ask, they just show, right? Those are the real ones, right? The one that's like, oh, I've changed. That's abusive spouse bullshit. I know what that is. That's a love bomb, and I ain't trying to even touch that. That's incendiary. But the person who just doesn't come back to you and it just kind of says, "I get it, I fucked up, but I'm still changing." Despite that to me, I respect a lot more.
Self-awareness and the ability to say, "Yo, that was really fucking dumb.
I fucked up." And look, I have fucked up. I know that. And there's some people who I don't deserve their forgiveness, and I fully get that. I did some bad shit, and it's like, you know, and so it's like all I can do is live a life that doesn't repeat that same shit, you know, and learn from my mistakes and own that part and move on. And it's like, I get that part, and we've all done it. And it's important that we do kind of suffer the loss. It's important to
yes, that's a huge lesson. Yes.
Yeah, you've got to have that, and that has to be there because it's a reminder, right?
Yeah.
You need to remember that there are consequences to your actions, and that's the one. And those major ones that you lose are the ones that are like, yeah, I'm not going to forget that one. That's I might fuck up on little things, you know, the same, fine, but like these big ones, they don't. And so the ones who are just try to get back in, I'm just like, I don't think so, because I don't trust you, right? You betrayed my trust when you betrayed me. Like, you understand that, right? Like, the fact that when the shit hit the fan, you turned into a complete piece of shit means that you are not a post-apocalyptic person who can survive the fall. Like, your ass is dead, but you're just going to be dead weight. You're dead weight now.
No. Matter of fact, motherfucker, I'm going to leverage you for some fucking Diet Coke.
Right.
I'm going to trade you for some fucking Diet Coke or cigarettes, and I don't even fucking smoke.
That's right. I will. Yeah, I would literally
prostitute you out, motherfucker.
Yeah, for sure. I'd offer you up as tribute. What the hell? You offered me up? Shit. We'll do the same. Like, I'm just, you know, it's like I don't go out of my way for them. But if
Sure.
they go out of their way for me, then it's like, well, you did ask. You did ask. And it's just like, I tend to like not mess with them because it's just like, I know that there's another one that's going to set you off. The next big thing is going to happen and you're going to be a fuckwit about it too. You're going to pull that shit again. And I'm not into it. So I generally don't, mess with them, and they kind of do their own thing, which is fine. I feel if on the one hand, it's like, I see how badly divided people are. I see it and I understand that it is detrimental socially, to like just the general fabric of society. But I also feel like there has to be a certain amount of trust restored between these cohorts of people. However you break them up, there needs to be a bigger reconciliation, that just kind of says, I mean, that, have you ever seen, like, I forget what the name of the movie was. It was based on a comic strip. I can't remember. One of the characters was Rorschach, and the other one was Mr. Manhattan. I don't remember the name of the movie. It will come to me when we hang up. But like, but Mr. Manhattan was supposed to be the character that basically was the
Is it a movie or is it what is
it? It was a movie.
It's called Mr. Manhattan.
No, that was one of the characters. So that Rorschach, one of the characters was Rorschach, and the other one was Mr. Manhattan. There were a couple of others. It was all about superheroes.
Watchmen.
Yes, that's the one. So that one, right? It was, but Mr. Manhattan was the unifying villain that everybody stopped and gave up on all of their division to unite against the one,
which 9/11 was for America in the past.
Yeah, for a minute it was, right? For a minute. And like and I think, it was supposed, and people thought that it was a unifying thing that Barack Obama became president because he was the first Black president. And, like everybody kept thinking these were these big moments that would unify and bring us together. But I think there are just too many people who have a incentive to never leave that alone and let people enjoy that and live with that peace, that there are just general shit stirs in high places of influence. And sadly, there are people who follow them, and fall for it. And it's too bad because, I mean, I think that leads to a lot of, social contagion, a lot of really bad choices, a lot of regret, a lot of brokenness. And I don't see people getting better about it. I mean, all I see is people descending into misery, and it's like,
yeah, well, yeah, the outcome is only misery.
Yeah.
Like, I keep repeating this, and not because to sound edgy, but I have like dozens of messages of people who were part of the like anti-Bara Facebook group. And
okay.
until that Facebook group started the same thing, like with me and Me Too, right? I'm angry at men. Oh, y'all joining me, and then I'm like, y'all angry at something that is not to be angry about. Like, we lost the plot here, and then kind of, so that happens in the anti-Bara Facebook group, and like the cycle seems to be like, because the group exists for 6 years now, I think, and the cycle is kind of like 1 in a year and a half, 2 years, when people like there's like a handful of people that get out of that group and then end up in my inbox like, hey, I was, we did fucking group rituals to fucking curse you. We summoned demons to like hurt you. We called immigrations on you.
Damn.
Like, people telling me this shit, and only to realize that you actually didn't do the things that we accused you of, or like it was all in our head.
Yeah.
Right. So like when I say like you're fat, you are fucking fat. Right. That's not you don't deserve to live. That's not you don't deserve to be a person. You're fucking fat. And your fatness says something about you.
Right.
When you are out there raging and anti-rich people, you do you. I'm just telling you, you will forever be broke. Not me cursing you, because it's against the law, the natural law of your soul to become something that it hates. You will never be rich the moment you keep hating on wealth of any type, right?
That's right.
So these people, these come out and they're like, once I stopped, for one, I got ostracized. They always go like, I got ostracized because I was like, well, this doesn't seem right at all. Or when like the demon summoning got too heavy, like I went out and I figured, well, maybe there's something to, Bara. And so I stopped engaging in news. Now I don't have anxiety. Now I lost 25 pounds. I got 4 job promotions in 1 year. Like, I'm like, yeah, I've been telling you.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to run with 2 suitcases in your hands, like it's really fucking hard. Drop the baggage and run, Like, and it was, I mean, there's a lot of that where I think there's people that just, you can tell that they're miserable, and you can hear it in the way they do it. They're looking for confirmation that they're virtuous and that they're right and that they're, and that it's not just, I'm not just anti, I'm taking the right position. I'm on the right side of history on this one.
Right, mommy?
Right. Please tell me yes.
Right, mommy?
Right. They need the affirmation. They need somebody to tell them that. And anybody who, and if they find a group of people who will do that for them, then even better, right? Because now power in numbers. We've all decided together, this group of us have all decided together that what I'm saying and what I'm doing is the righteous thing to say. And it's just like, I mean, okay, you can toe that line, and you can, I mean, it's devoid of any reality, right? It's not rooted in anything, but okay. I mean, if that's the timeline you're on right now, explore the space, do the thing, check it out. But at some point you have to reel it back in. And I think there are people, that's the people you're talking about, who are just like, I realized that like my feet weren't even touching the ground anymore. And I needed to get on terra firma and like remember what reality is and remember what is actually real. Like, never mind like opinion being true, good, or whatever, but just touch grass type, reconnecting with reality and reconnecting with humanity, because I've alienated myself with these obsessive beliefs about anything,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I find it particularly interesting that every single time something goes, like anytime there's a bad thing happening in society, it's always the Nazis. As if there was no other bad group of people that did really horrible shit, right, in human history. Like, I don't know if anybody's ever read about the fucking Romans, but they were some disgusting savage people. Like, if you just read top line what Romans were about, like, their shit was disgusting and depraved. They had a society, they had a civilization, but if they were here today, you would definitely want to put them in a wood chipper. Like, they're fucking nuts. So like, but like Mao's China, like nobody ever harkens to that. Nobody ever says, well, you're a Maoist. Yeah, nobody looks at Stalin. Nobody looks at Lenin. I'm like
those really? By the way, they exceed numbers of the Nazis by the bonds
of millions.
Yes,
by the tens of millions, and they were writing
and way crueler, by the way,
and
way fucking crueler.
And before him, it was before Hitler, right? Lenin
before,
was before
after,
him.
During, like we're like in a natural flow of ongoing fucking suffering.
And I'm like, Hitler did not write the book on this, and he's like a walk in the park by comparison to some of these.
I mean, 100%.
Right. I'm like, wait, so if you're going to say I'm like anybody, if I'm the worst of the worst, right? You chose the failure of the worst of the worst. You chose like you did.
Nazis are the failure of the worst of the worst. Ain't that the fucking truth?
I'm just like, and it's not a defense of the Nazis. It's that's not the worst of it. Like the actual worst. But like, and I was just like, if you want to talk about who was heinous during World War II, like nobody, not one soul talks about the Croats, right? Against the Serbs. Not one. No. And it's like, okay, you were willing to partner with the Russians, so we don't talk about the Slavs at all in World War II because the Croats were fucking crazy as well. Like they would make a Nazi blush. But you're telling me that like I'm the worst of the worst.
They would make a Nazi blush. That's so good.
It's true though. I mean, I'm just saying I fucking looked into it and I was just like, are the Nazis the worst? And they're like, actually, no.
But this is such and we've talked about this in the past, and I hope we keep bringing it up forever, because there's this thing which is very American, and it became Americanized, so then it became modern West, right? Where it's this, there's this like very stark polarity Pepsi versus Coke, Britney versus Christina,
Right.
Backstreet Boys versus NSYNC. Like there's this like Republican versus Democrat. Like there's a very stark, and you even see it like at when like on a larger scale in America, history's discussed, right? It's like the colonizer versus the natives. And I'm like, no. It was kind of like the Mormons versus the Christian nationalists, which were different, by the way,
Yeah.
versus the people who just escaped Europe, versus very different groups of natives who are also coming against each other, versus
Right.
climate, versus the snow, versus fucking animal predators,
Right.
versus the river that wasn't clean and that
Versus
would kill
pestilence
you
and disease.
from
Right.
dysentery,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean it was one versus the other? As if, like, you know, all the white men were colonizers, as if all the natives were these like loving, you know, they were kumbayaing up in
they
this
were
fucking,
not.
they were so nice, just with their ponies, right? They were just like with their ponies, like that was it was
Yeah,
just they were
dancing
just riding their ponies
and dancing, you know.
and along a bonfire.
Yeah,
That's
it.
just what they were.
Having a good time, passing
Just having a good time.
minding their bee. Yeah,
Minding their bee in their lane on their pony.
100%. And I'm just like, and so I told somebody that I said, you understand that like conquest was not invented by the West, right? Like,
it's so fucking funny. Like it's so funny. Like as if Americans are really good at it. Have you like? Several nations in the world are like, hold my fucking beer.
Hold my fucking beer. I mean, look at the major empires of the world. We're much bigger, much broader, much vaster. I'm like, dude, the Ottomans, the fucking Mongolians, like, are we really gonna play? Like, I mean,
but we need to be more like nature. Baby boo, let me tell you about fucking nature since I live in it. And I live in an area, for the people listening, Kelly already knows this ad nauseum. I live in an area that where like natives didn't live because it's too fucking rough here, by the way. So we are like the colonizers, air quotes, right? I'm using super air quotes right now. We're like the first people here. But let me tell you more about nature. We have several trees here that are not native, and they fucking wiped out the fucking trees that were native. I can tell you about the fucking beetle that fucking goes into those trees and fucking virus parasitically out all the fucking trees. Now I have sick trees. Let's talk about the fucking goats in West Virginia that came somehow accidentally from fucking China or some shit, and there's no natural predator. Can we talk about the alligators? Because everyone's like Florida and alligators. Alligators aren't native to fucking Florida, motherfuckers. Anacondas aren't either. But let's talk about fucking nature. Yes.
And what conquesting looks like, and what survival looks like. And it's just like, I get it. You don't like that side of nature. I know you think that it's all just, songs and it's really easy. It's like, it was like, like when somebody was like talking about, we should just line the streets with orange trees and then everybody will have food to eat. And I was just like,
sweet summer child.
Ever actually managed an orchard before? Do you understand the maintenance that goes into that? Like
how fragile they are, by the way,
and how dangerous it is to do that for everyone. You've got that will draw all the pests. So you're going to have squirrels everywhere, birds everywhere, prairie mice, insects everywhere. Like it's all going to be up in there, right? And then you're going to have rotten fruit dropping. And then it's going to be like all the janitors come out. So now we're talking about flies and maggots and beetles and, vultures and shit. It's like
bears, coyotes, coyotes, probably not for oranges, but the little panda bear with the black eye.
Oh yeah. I don't, there's a word for it.
It goes through the trash.
Oh yeah. Oh, the raccoons.
Like all of those will come out.
Yeah. I mean, you're just going to draw them all in. I'm like, and who's managing all of that? Like nobody thinks about it, right? Nobody thinks about the consequence or the fallout. And I'm just like, I don't think people understand the discipline it takes to keep order in the. I mean, here's the thing. I think you know this story, but I'll say it anyway. Do you remember when Yellowstone National Park was starting to like die? Essentially, it was dying. The rivers started to turn into marshland and the animals were leaving and things were dying and everything was just, it was dying. It was just, And so the solution was to import these wolves from
Oh,
Alaska and put them in.
oh no.
Yeah, no,
Oh no.
they imported the wolves, okay? And within about 6 months, it was restored and back to life.
Mm,
A predator did that.
mm-hmm,
A predator did that. A
mm-hmm,
predator who started because the deer don't know when to stop eating.
mm-hmm,
The deer just eat and fuck.
mm-hmm,
As do rabbits. Rabbits eat and fuck.
mm-hmm,
So do mice. Okay.
mm-hmm,
There's a lot of creatures whose sole purpose in life is to just eat and fuck. They
mm-hmm.
have they have no regulating mechanism that says to stop
Clicks.
it
Right.
until they start dying. Once they start seeing others die, then they stop. That then they'll back off and they'll migrate somewhere else where they can go eat and fuck somewhere else. Like that's literally them. When the wolves came back, the rivers were started to restore because the beavers came back, and the beavers came back, so the fish came back because everything was back in its structure. And then and then the deer would come back, but they were kept in check, and the rabbits came back, but they were kept in check, and the birds came back, and then it became this beautiful, flourishing forest again, restored even better to what it was in a matter of months. That happened, okay, simply by introducing a predator. And I don't think people understand that there is a sort of order that comes from that kind of dominance.
Oh my, I love that. And there's also this weird, and I don't know which other word to use except for like dissonance, where there's like, and this is purely American talk, right? Where there's this like
Mhm.
glorification of certain ancestry. Like, I'm from the Vikings. I'm like, boo boo. The Vikings raped and pillaged.
A lot. They did a
And don't get me
lot.
wrong, I have a Viking husband. I have very dirty fantasies about him. Like, I'm the Christian girl. Let's fucking go, baby. To like, and he always blushes when I say shit like that. He's like, that's a little too extreme. I'm like, come on, Viking. I'll fucking rent a chapel somewhere and we can play it out, baby. But no, they weren't just cool, like boat loving folks
Yeah.
with cool, like fur and
Yeah.
axes. Those were functional tools
Right.
and they ended up in your head, probably.
Right. They were no joke. Like they were no joke. I'm like, and I think people have a very over romanticized idea of humanity, leading up to where we are today.
I am
And
Irish. I'm just a leprechaun,
that's all.
with
Yeah.
the 4 clover. No, no, baby. No.
No, that's
It goes
not
a
what
little
it.
further than that.
Yeah, there was a
It
lot of
goes into
shit.
slavery.
Yeah, you were slaves.
Right.
You were actually
Potatoes. Yeah, right.
That's right. I mean, and that sucks, like, and it's like, and it's like, and I don't think people get that there was a lot that we worked through as humans to get to where we are. But I think we worked through it to the point where we forgot some of the lessons and some of the kind of discipline that also got us to where we are, right? Like
Mhm,
there is the savagery, I get it,
mhm,
but there was also an inordinate amount of discipline or you died.
mhm.
Either you were on board and you locked in on your discipline or you died because life was an ultimatum every day.
And
Like,
it wasn't a negotiation.
no,
Oh, but the feelings, maybe
no,
I don't feel like it today. I don't think
they
maybe my
they
inner
tried.
critic is talking. What do
They
you mean?
tried. They tried that. When the Pilgrims first got to the United States, they tried that. They tried to have this, egalitarian communal living, blah blah blah. They starved for 4 years. Those motherfuckers starved for 4 years until somebody got the bright idea and said, maybe we need private parcels because nobody's pulling their weight. So they privatized the parcels, broke everything up, and said, you get a parcel there, you go over there, you go over there, you
Or
Oprah
figure out your
Winfrey.
life.
Yeah, and figure your shit out. Within a year, they had a surplus instead of starving. And it's just like, it's the discipline, it's the structure every fucking time. Every fucking time you have some sort of discipline, structure, predator, something that keeps everything in line, shit goes right. Shit goes right.
And
Like,
when you don't have that,
yeah,
you get what we have right now, that
yeah.
everything is going to be portrayed and marketed as a predator
And you should be afraid
while
of
it
it.
isn't.
Right. And you should fear it.
Yeah.
You should fear discipline. You should fear the predator. Instead
You
of
should fear those people, this idea.
right. And you're instead of being grateful for the fact that they exist and that they tolerate your sad ass, like, and that they're still here and they haven't left. Like, you should be really grateful that they're here. And you should probably just like again, take your parcel and get your shit together and start tilling the fucking land. Like, do your part, and
But there's this idea though that people feel like, and it's maybe this is very much a chronic online. So I apologize in preface, like, right, like y'all parents in America, they had it easier because of the financial economic status, and I'm like, well, so you are upset because you feel entitled, and my husband goes like, entitlement is like a baby going like, that tit is mine, give it to me. That tit is mine, right? And then there's no tit. Okay, so what you gonna do? Look for milk now? What are you fucking doing? Right? Like, so
right.
you were promised a tit. Tit ain't there. Now what?
Now what? Exactly. Well, that's the thing, right? Is it's like, and well, I think the bitterness doesn't come from the fact that boomers got so much. It's that the boomers shut the door behind them. Is more like it, because of the way in which they voted, the way in which they governed, the way in which policy was created around them and by them, and everybody else just kind of got overlooked. Future generations just kind of got the shaft on that. And so it's like, it did. I think that's the greater bitterness, is the fact that there was a lot handed to them, because they were there. They were the kids of the, and the beneficiaries of a lot of new welfare programs and low debt and high value dollar and all of that stuff. And then, and then they voted in and ushered in a society where the dollar is worthless, the property is is far more expensive, and the policies are far more regulatory, and it's just become impossible to navigate because the tax code's 75,000 pages long, and you've made it so that you can't just follow the rules and be okay like you are, Dad.
But
like
what was expected? That was it should have gone only easier and easier. Because that's how I translate it. Everything you said, correct.
Yeah.
And what was the expectation? That life was only gonna get easier and easier?
I think that's
fairer.
I think that's what it was. Is it's like, now you got to get all this, so now I should be able to vote that in too, and I should be able to vote for myself and vote my part of the pie, and I should be able to do this all for me the way you did. And it's like, and we can't, because we're realizing that we're broke, right? Like, so it's not tenable is what they're waking up to. Mm-hmm. And I think it's interesting because the younger generation, like, not like my mom was a boomer and my dad was silent generation. He was born in the 40s, and then like my kids are Gen Z, right? And I'm Gen X in the middle. And I think,
which one am I?
Millennial.
I'm millennial, yeah.
So if you think about like my kids, so the extreme, right? If you take the extremes, it's easier to see the difference. That my kids looking at my mom, right, or my dad, and saying, what the fuck did I just inherit? I was born into $60,000 of debt or $100,000 of debt. I didn't even do anything yet. I drew my first breath. I got a Social Security card, and now I'm fucking $100,000 in debt. What the fuck? Which is a fair question to ask. But it's interesting that they're saying you had it so easy because everything was cheaper and everything was affordable and every job was there.
You only lived through Second World War, walk in the park,
and every other
Cold War,
right?
Depression.
That. And then the older generation will look at the younger generation and say, you have the Library of Alexandria in your fucking pocket and you still don't know what words mean. And so they're looking at each other like, you ungrateful piece of shit. Both of them are looking at each other saying, you ungrateful piece of shit, right? Why? Because the older person is saying, I wish my life was as easy as yours. All I got to do is push a button. And then the kid is saying, I wish my life was as easy as yours. All I have to do is get one job and I can afford a house, and it's just like, you traded it off. It was a trade-off. That was a trade-off somewhere in the middle there. It was a slow trade.
And my question is, at which point are you going to go, but this is the reality I'm dealing with? So there's this,
right?
Fighting with reality is what I call it, right? Where you're arguing like, I shouldn't have to be in this situation.
100%.
And by the way, I'm not void of it. When the fucking dogs go shit, the puppies diarrhea in the living room, my horse runs away and I'm alone. I'm like, I shouldn't have to be dealing with this. Where's my husband? Well, he's at work. But right, look, in that moment, I'll be like, there's this like entitlement and injustice. Like
Yeah.
I shouldn't be have to deal with this, right?
Correct. Yep.
And then I fucking deal with it.
And then you fucking deal with it. That's right. Because the reality is the reality. And that doesn't change because
I can't escape the reality, no matter
Correct.
how hard I fight, no
Yeah.
matter how many people affirm that I indeed should not be having to deal with this.
Correct. And the idea you're not, and that's the thing is it's like reality deals your hand, and it is what it is, and you have to play that shit. So like, I mean, the game keeps going whether you participate or not. So like, I don't know what the fuck you're gonna do, but like,
And I wouldn't say the game keeps going and your participation is a given, but there's a difference between like trying, like being dragged because you're participating versus,
Yeah.
okay, like I'm better get fucking fit so I can run along with the game
mhm.
and then maybe get ahead.
Right. But I think that's the thing, right? Like people feel very entitled to different outcomes. And it's what that's how I define an expectation is that you feel entitled to an outcome. That's an expectation is just you in feeling entitled to an outcome. And it's just like, I don't understand why you thought that was 100% guaranteed to you. Like, I don't understand where that contract came from, but at no
That
point.
kid is mine.
The kid is yours. Yeah, exactly. And it's crazy because people aren't willing to contend with the fact that there is a reality, regardless of the fact that you don't like certain things. Like, I get it. You don't like the government, but it is what it is. It's still here. Like, you can cry about it, but I don't know that that's helped because you've been doing it for 15 years and it's still here and it's worse. So nothing has improved. So like, what is your,
at least your crying has not contributed to the solution. So maybe we should try something else.
Anything else. Wake up at a different time. Try, just start fucking with the levers and seeing what changes, you know, like do some buttons and seeing what happens. Right. I'm just like, experiment with the shit. I don't know, but like but it's not working. Whatever it is you're doing isn't working. And I think you being pissed that you keep getting the same outcome, no matter how lofty your expectations are, is proving to be one of those faith-based lives that like doesn't involve your participation in it. And it doesn't require you playing. And you're sitting there pissed that you have to play this. And it's just like, I don't understand why you think life is going to be anything than what it is right now. It can be something different tomorrow. But what it is right now is what it is right now. And what it's already been is done. So like, you're going to have to figure out how to make it better tomorrow, you know?
And it's such a personal, individual thing because there's one guarantee. If you don't start actively participating in the game and you're just passively, it's going to get worse for you. Right. That's 100% a given.
Right.
It's just going to get worse for you. Passivity is being rewarded with worse.
That's right. That's the thing is it's like, it keeps moving and you've stayed behind. So now not only at first it was shitty. Now it's only going to get worse because it's just going to keep compounding. It's like interest.
Yeah.
You've given up on the principle. So now you're compounding all of this interest and you're going to drown in the debt of your absence and your lack of participation. Like that's the problem is it just gets worse. Like if you don't clean your house, right, and you did nothing else, it will just get worse. It will fall into entropy. Like that's what's going to happen.
That's such a great example because just cleaning your house, right? Now, first you have a little bit of dirt on the floor, then you have trash. Okay. If you clean that up, good. If you don't clean it up, now you have mice, cockroaches, mold, and it's a danger to your body.
Right. That's if you just don't do anything.
Yes.
You haven't actively tried to make it worse or better, but that's what will compound over time, right? Yeah. And you'll have to get stronger detergents and you'll have to spend longer scrubbing at it and you'll have to do more money. And it's just like, I just don't know that it's worth it to do that because at some point the interventions get very extreme, right? And it gets much worse than what you think it is. Like right now it sucks. I can assure you it can always get worse. There is somebody on the planet who can show you under no uncertain terms that it can be much worse. Like, especially in a first world country, like there is so much worse that you have never seen. Like,
I made a TikTok about this. I can't believe I used that phrase, but I used that phrase. I made a TikTok saying like, I I have one test, one phrase, one question that can test whether you or not are living by your excuses, whether what you believe to be true is an excuse. Is there someone somewhere in the whole wide world out there who comes from worse circumstances who is doing better than you right now? The answer is yes.
Absolutely.
If the answer is yes, then you're living in an excuse.
That's right.
I can't because I feel, but blah, 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 blah.
100%. 100%. That is the test. That is the test. Is it's like, how did they do it? And it's like, and the fact that you'll come up with a series of reasons why, why that's possible and why that's okay. It's like I met a guy in college who escaped Vietnam, hiding in a church with monks, like a temple with monks and stuff. He had this whole story. He had to sneak on a boat and he did all this shit. And I was just like, God damn, sir. Like, damn. He was the nicest guy.
Word.
Totally lighthearted. He had the thickest accent, but the funniest sense of humor. And it was
darkest humor too, right?
Oh, 100%. And
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah, yeah.
you're literally the best. Like, you're actually the best person. Like,
Can you imagine having to sneak onto a boat? Like the amount of tension and fear your body must carry in that and hold in that moment, not knowing whether anytime you're going to be found out, you're going to be dead.
he has no idea if his family was alive. Like, I'm just
Woo.
like, what? Like, and there's a lot of stories like that out of Vietnam. But I'm just like, how the fuck did you do that? How did you go from that
But we have
to
menu
our
anxiety.
university in California? But we have menu anxiety.
You have menu
I have
anxiety.
time blindness. Help. Send help.
Oh my god, the dogs jumped up.
Oh my god, there's a comedian. I'm gonna send you the link later. There's a comedian that has I think he's Egyptian, and he talks about his immigrant parents and how they handle and them talk and how their response to anxiety. And they
Tell me.
I have to find it for you. But
everyone knows my grandma's response, right? Like my grandma's like, I tell them like everyone has anxiety in America. What is that? Well, they're nervous all the time. Why? Because of made up scenarios. Why don't they stop making up these scenarios? They can't. Why not? Because I'm like, I have no answer. This is where the cycle stops. I have no fucking answer. I don't know anxiety, right? Again, I know stress, but I don't know anxiety.
Yeah.
And by the way, I figured out with the perfect differentiation, because people kept coming at me, stress and anxiety is the same. No. Y'all anxiety people are bribing, telling me, you're marketing to me how anxiety takes you over and you can't stop it. Stress, I can remember just like everything is okay right now and I'm good.
Yeah. No, I don't think other countries, that's the thing, other countries don't. That's why we call them first world problems, right? That's the definition. That is the absolute definition of a first world problem, that you won't find it in the third world.
Making up scenarios, baby.
Right.
And I get really nervous about them.
Yeah. Oh, here it is.
You found the...
I did.
Oh, I don't know. Are you going to send it on the gram, or where are you sending it?
Is there a chat in here?
Yeah.
Is there? Hang on. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Chat. Okay. I will put it there. Hang on. Please hold. I think this is the one. Copy this and then go here and then put it.
I don't know how it looks on your side, like on your end.
Put it here. No, put it. Where do I? Oh, I don't know that I can add to the chat. I don't think I'm able to add to the chat. I'll put it in. Facebook Messenger.
Okay. We have to probably close up. I've kept you for long.
That's okay.
It's always good. Diamonds and Demons time, motherfuckers.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna watch the after we hang up. I'm gonna respond to you. This is so good. We solved life again.
You're welcome.
Y'all, I got so many responses saying these conversations between Diamonds and Demons are so fucking good. It's like the realest therapist we know. I'm like, yeah, I'll send you the invoice.
Getting that free shit. Now go do the fucking work.
Yes, get off your ass.
Go do
Get off your ass. Okay,
right.
Kelly. Next week again.
Next week again.
Everyone, rich and hydrated. Rich and hydrated. Everybody hydrate.
Yeah. Cheers.
Water portal, baby.